Hi guys, I thought I would come back this afternoon and talk to you guys for a few minutes. As you know, my name is Melinda Hoover. I am a Stamping Up demonstrator and a homeschooling mom of 2. I am challenging myself to scope 5 days out of 7. Isn't that what the new year is for, to challenge yourself? I belong to a Facebook group called Periscope Brigade, and we are doing a 5-day challenge right now. It's actually even though it's 5 days, I think we are taking 2 weeks to do it, so it's not too late to join in if you would like. So that's the reason why my title is called Suggestions to Successful Scopes. I am not by any means an expert when it comes to Periscope, but I've been doing this for a little bit, and I just thought I would share my thoughts and things like that about it. I have found that I really like scoping, even if it looks like I'm talking to myself. I want to thank my live viewers for coming in, and I wanted to thank my replay viewers for coming in, and thank you for the hearts. One thing that I think you can have a good scope is knowing what your personal strengths are. One way to find out what they are is to do the Myers-Briggs test. And I know that Lynn's likes the Myers-Briggs test because she's talked about it a couple times in her scopes. I did a scope about that, and you can find it on my catch. It's the personality and nicknames one, and I found out I am an ISFJ. If you are interested in taking this test, let me show you the page that you can go on. That's the reason why I have you guys looking at my computer right now. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, this is where you can take your Myers-Briggs test. It's www.16personalities.com. And like I said, I found out I was an ISFJ. I'm sorry if I'm a little shaky. I don't have a tripod, so I'm holding this in my hand. Anyways, an ISFJ is known as the defender. And what I found humorous about this is that it says you would be good with charitable social work. And that's what I got my degree in social work. Yay! I was kind of surprised that I'm an introvert, because when I was younger, Linz, I was an extrovert. And I guess when I got older, I turned into an introvert. Aww. So anyways, like I was saying, I thought it was interesting that it said that we would be good at charitable social work, because that's what I got my degree in and what I was doing before I started staying home with my kids and homeschooling them. If you are nervous about scoping, think about what relaxes you. Yeah, they said that something about ISFJ is the most sociable with the introverts, and I just thought that was interesting. I think the first time I took the Myers-Briggs test, I was like 16 years old, because I was going to go be a counselor for foster kids, and they wanted to put us in groups of people that we would get along with. So if you are ever nervous about scoping, think about what relaxes you. I still get nervous when I scope, but I also feel like I'm gaining more confidence as I do this more often. As I said, I haven't really scoped a lot. I probably could still count how many scopes I've done. This is probably number 15 or 16. But I feel like I'm gaining more confidence as I do this. One thing I like to do to relax. Yeah. Okay. I like to diffuse essential oils, and my favorite oil is peppermint. That's supposed to bring you energy. I don't know if that necessarily relaxes me, but I have been making an effort to go to the gym daily and get my steps in, even though I'm using a stationary bike. I figured essential oils and moving, those are 2 things that can help relax you. Oh, and I also depend on notes. Well, when it's an important subject, I like to write my thoughts down so then I don't lose track of what I'm saying. But of course, I also have casual scopes where maybe I'm showing off product that I'm using for my planners or my cards and things like that. Because oh yeah, see, I'm losing my train of thought. So if I lose my train of thought, my notes are right there. And like I said, I tend to do that on a more serious subject like this subject versus like if it's a crafting scope. And right here, if you wanted to know more about me, let me see, will that work? You can find me here. I have a blog called Mel's Creative Creations, and there I mostly blog about what I do Stampin' Up! Wise. I'm also found on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram as Mel's Creative Creations, and Periscope, Twitter, and Catch. I'm also found on there as Airteme. I found that I couldn't really change my name on Twitter. That's the reason why Twitter, Periscope, and Catch all have Airteme instead of Mel's Creative Creations. And I'm just giving you some pointers because, like I said, let me show you. I belong to this group on Facebook, and Amy Melsick is the group owner, the group leader. She's our little cheerleader, and she kind of gave us pointers about how to do a successful scope, and I just wanted to share what I had learned. So another way to have a successful scope is to practice in a mirror in front of your family and friends or in a private scope. And like I said earlier, these ideas are from Amy Melsick. When I started, I just jumped in. I didn't know what I wanted to scope about. Sorry, I am, like I said, I'm looking at my notes, but I'm getting a better idea now. Oh, and another suggestion I would like, let me turn this so you guys can look at me instead of the computer. Hi guys, sorry about that. Here we go. Good afternoon again. I would also suggest blocking trolls and not showing your location. And if you're not aware of how to do that, what I would do is, like, you know how if you just want to listen to other people's scopes and not necessarily scope yourself, or if you are a scoper and don't know who to block, when you're on other people's scopes, what I would do is if you see them blocking someone, I would automatically block someone. And I think I have a longer blocked list than I have followers. Because you don't want those trolls to follow you, especially what the trolls that I tend to block are the ones that are speaking in a foreign language. Yes. And who say stuff like open Bob or I'm from Turkey, things like that. Because I figured if they're going to say things like that, then that means they're not going to be constructive in your scope. So, oh, yes, another thing I do is I check my follower list daily, especially when Periscope, I don't know how many months ago this was, had that whole issue about the sex chats and different things like that. And so just like even before I came on today, I had someone that said sex girls or something like that. So I blocked that one immediately. So check your follower list at least once a day. I try to do it more than once, or if I know I'm going to share a scope, I try to check my follower list before I share that scope, because I don't want the person who's scoping to get trolls from my list. And I believe you can turn your settings off. I mean, not settings off. You can turn your location off in your settings. The only reason why I would keep a location on is if you're going somewhere fun like Disneyland or somewhere where it's more of a public place, because you don't want people to know where you're living at. And I automatically have my location off. I don't see a real reason to keep that on. So those were just my points of how to have a successful scope. And if you wanted to know what your strengths and weaknesses are, I would take that free personality test that I showed you and block the trolls, keep your location off, just try to relax. And if you're nervous about scoping, you can always scope with, you could do a private scope. When you open up the camera part, they give you options like if you want to broadcast this on Twitter, or if you want to make it public, or there's a little sign I think that says you could do like, it's just a person, like you can invite a person to your scope if you want to like rehearse with them and make sure you sound okay, things like that. So does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. And I wanted, like I said, I wanted to thank you for coming by and listening to me give my own point of view about what makes a successful scope. Okay, then. I just wanted to thank, like I said, my live viewers for coming. And thank you, Linz, for interacting and talking to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good day.